There's this moment that happens in the car dealership, right? You've been there for like 2 hours already, you're exhausted, you just want to go home. And the finance guy slides that paper across the desk and says something like, "We can get you into this for just $597 a month." And your brain does this weird thing where it doesn't process that as $7,000 a year or $42,000 over the life of the loan. It just hears 597 and thinks, I mean, that's basically 600 and I make way more than that in a month, so sure. And then you drive off the lot in this beautiful machine that smells like new leather and has Bluetooth and heated seats, and you feel incredible, like you've made it, like you're finally an adult who has their life together. You post a picture on Instagram, your friends comment with fire emojis, everything feels right. But then the first payment hits, and the second. And by month 3 or 4, you start noticing something weird happening to your bank account. You're making the same salary you were before, but somehow there's never quite enough money left over. You can't save as much as you planned. That vacation you wanted to take keeps getting pushed back. You're saying no to things you want to do because, well, you've got a car payment.
My name is Frank.
And I spend way too much time thinking about money, consumer psychology, and why intelligent people make financial decisions that absolutely wreck their future without even realizing it's happening. And here's what I've learned after watching countless people, including myself at one point, get trapped in this exact cycle. That $600 car payment isn't just a monthly expense. It's a choice that ripples through every single financial decision you make for the next 5, 6, 7 years. It's the difference between building wealth and staying stuck, between having options and feeling trapped, between financial freedom and that constant low-grade stress that comes from never having quite enough money. And the crazy part? Most people don't even realize they're making this choice. They think they're just buying a car, but what they're actually doing is fundamentally altering their financial trajectory in ways that won't become obvious until years later, when they're wondering why everyone else seems to be getting ahead while they're still living paycheck to paycheck despite making decent money. So let me walk you through what's really happening when you sign up for that $600 payment, why it matters so much more than you think, and what you can do about it, whether you're already in one of these loans or trying to avoid making this mistake in the first place. Here's the thing about car payments that the dealership definitely doesn't want you thinking about. They're designed to make you focus on the wrong number. The whole sales process is built around monthly payments, not the actual price of the car, not the interest rate, not really, not the total amount you'll pay over the life of the loan, just that one number. What do you want your monthly payment to be, they ask, like that's the only thing that matters. And our brains fall for it every single time because $600 a month sounds manageable, right? You make, let's say, $5,000 a month after taxes. 600 out of 5,000, that's only what, 12%? That seems fine. But here's what actually happens. That $600 is just the payment. You've also got insurance, which on a newer, more expensive car is probably $150 to $200 a month. You've got gas, maybe another $200. Maintenance, even though the car is new, still costs money. Registration fees, parking if you live in a city. By the time you add it all up, that car is eating $1,000 to $1,200 of your monthly income. That's not 12% anymore. That's almost a quarter of your take-home pay going to a depreciating asset that loses value the second you drive it off the lot. Let me tell you about Marcus, this guy I knew from college. Smart dude, got a good job right out of school making about $70,000 a year. First thing he did, bought a brand new Audi. Beautiful car, I'm not going to lie. Payment was $615 a month for 72 months. 72 months. That's 6 years of his life committed to this one decision he made when he was 23. And at first, he loved it, posted pictures, felt great driving it, but then I watched his life sort of stagnate. His friends started buying houses, putting down payments, building equity. Marcus couldn't save enough for a down payment because between the car payment, insurance, and just maintaining his lifestyle, he was barely breaking even every month. He wanted to switch jobs at one point, take a risk on a startup that could have been huge, but he couldn't afford the pay cut because, well, car payment. 5 years later, the car was worth maybe a third of what he paid for it, and he dropped over $40,000 into something that was essentially a very expensive ride to work. Meanwhile, his friends who bought reasonable used cars for cash or took on small, manageable payments had savings, investment accounts, options. They had freedom. Marcus had a nice car and a lot of stress. The real cost of that $600 payment isn't actually the money, although obviously the money matters. The real cost is opportunity. Every dollar you commit to a car payment is a dollar you can't use for something else. And I'm not even talking about fun stuff, although, yeah, there's that too. I'm talking about the things that actually build wealth and create security. That $600 a month over 6 years is $43,200. $43,000. Now imagine you took that same money and did literally anything else with it. You could put it in a high-yield savings account and have an emergency fund that actually makes you sleep better at night. You could max out a Roth IRA every single year and have hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement. Save for a down payment on a house and build equity instead of making someone else rich. Invest in learning new skills or starting a business. Travel and have experiences you'll remember forever. Or honestly, just have flexibility and breathing room in your budget so you're not stressed about money constantly. But you can't do any of that because you've got a car payment. The money's already committed. It's gone before you even see it. And the crazy part? Car payments train you to think of debt as normal. You get used to having this monthly obligation. It becomes background noise. So when the car is paid off, instead of feeling this huge relief and redirecting that $600 towards savings or investments, what do most people do? They get another car, another loan, another payment. They've been conditioned to always have this obligation, and it feels weird not to have it. I see this all the time. People who've been making car payments for 20, 30 years straight. They've never not had a payment. They've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on vehicles that are all worth basically nothing now, and they have no idea where their wealth went. It drove away, literally, depreciating the entire time. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But Nick, I need a car. I have to get to work. Public transportation doesn't exist where I live. What am I supposed to do? Just not have a car? No, of course not. Cars are necessary for most people. I get it. But there's a massive difference between needing a car and needing a $45,000 SUV with a $600 payment. Here's the thing. You can get a perfectly reliable, safe, functional car for $10,000 to $15,000. Like a good car, not a beater that's going to break down every week. I'm talking about a 5 or 6-year-old Honda or Toyota or Mazda with reasonable mileage that'll run for another 100,000 miles with basic maintenance. But that doesn't feel exciting, does it? It doesn't have the new car smell. Your friends aren't going to be impressed. You don't get the status hit of pulling up in something brand new and shiny. And that's really what we're talking about here. Most of the time, that $600 car payment isn't about transportation. It's about identity. It's about status. It's about feeling successful and showing the world, and honestly showing yourself, that you've made it. But here's the brutal truth. Nobody cares about your car as much as you think they do. That status you think you're buying, it lasts about 3 weeks. Then it's just your car. It's just the thing you sit in while you're stuck in traffic or stressed about money. Meanwhile, the person driving the paid-off 10-year-old Camry who's stacking $600 a month into investments, they're building real wealth, real security, real freedom. And in 10 years, when they own a house and have a fat investment portfolio and can take a year off work if they want to, nobody's going to care that they drove a boring car in their 20s. So what do you actually do about this if you're already in a car payment? Because I know a lot of you watching this already have the loan. You already made the decision. You're sitting there going, great, thanks for making me feel bad about something I can't change. First thing, don't beat yourself up. Seriously, car payments are normalized in our culture. The entire automotive industry is designed to push you into financing. You're not stupid for having one. You just need to get out from under it as strategically as possible. Option 1, and this is the one most people hate, sell the car. Yeah, I know. You love it, you just got it, whatever. If you're upside down on the loan, meaning you owe more than it's worth, this gets complicated, but it's still possible. You might have to take out a small personal loan to cover the difference, but getting out from under a $600 payment and into a $200 payment on a smaller loan is still a win. Option 2, refinance. If your credit has improved since you bought the car, you might be able to get a lower interest rate, which either reduces your payment or lets you pay it off faster. Not as good as getting rid of it entirely, but something. Option 3, attack the principal. Every extra dollar you can throw at the loan reduces the total interest you'll pay and gets you out of it faster. If you can find even an extra $100 or $200 a month, maybe by cutting back on subscriptions or eating out less or picking up a small side gig, you can shave years off the loan. But here's the most important thing. Don't do it again. When this car is paid off, do not, under any circumstances, go get another car loan. Drive that thing until the wheels fall off, and when you absolutely need to replace it, save up and buy something reasonable with cash. Break the cycle. If you haven't bought the car yet, if you're just thinking about it, you have an enormous advantage right now. You can avoid this entire trap. And I know, there's pressure. Maybe you just got a promotion and you feel like you should reward yourself. Maybe your current car is old and you're embarrassed by it. Maybe everyone around you has nice cars and you feel like you're falling behind. But here's what I want you to understand. The people who seem to have everything together, who seem wealthy and successful, half of them are drowning in payments. They've got the nice car and the nice apartment and the nice clothes and absolutely no savings. They're one emergency away from disaster.
They're trapped in jobs they hate because they can't afford to miss a single paycheck. The people who are actually building wealth, the ones who will have real freedom in 10 or 20 years, they're driving boring cars. They're living below their means. They're delaying gratification. And yeah, maybe that's not as Instagram-worthy, but it's real. You have a choice right now. You can buy the image of success, or you can build actual success. You can have the dopamine hit of driving off the lot in something shiny and new, or you can have the long-term satisfaction of watching your net worth grow month after month because you're not hemorrhaging money on a depreciating asset. Think about what you actually want, not what you think you should want, not what will impress people. What do you actually want your life to look like in 5 years, 10 years? Do you want to own a house, travel, have kids, start a business, retire early? All of those things require money that won't be there if it's going to a car payment. Look, I'm not trying to be preachy here, and I'm definitely not saying you should never buy a nice car or that everyone needs to drive a beater forever. If you're genuinely financially secure, if you got a solid emergency fund and you're maxing out your retirement accounts and you have money left over and you want to spend some of it on a car you love, go for it. Enjoy it. But that's not what's happening with most $600 car payments. Most of them are people stretching themselves thin to afford something they can't really afford, sacrificing their financial future for something that feels good right now. And the thing that kills me is how preventable it is. This isn't like a medical emergency or a job loss or some catastrophe you couldn't see coming. This is a voluntary choice that you make, and you can choose differently. You can choose to buy a less expensive car. You can choose to save up and pay cash. You can choose to drive your current car for another few years while you build up your financial foundation. You can choose freedom over status, security over appearance, your actual future over the image of success. Every financial decision is a trade-off. When you commit to that $600 payment, you're trading away flexibility, opportunity, and peace of mind. You're trading your ability to save, invest, and build wealth. You're trading years of your future financial freedom for something that will be worth a fraction of what you paid for it before the loan is even done. And maybe that's worth it to you. Maybe the joy you get from that specific car outweighs everything else. But at least make that choice consciously. At least understand what you're giving up. Because the truth is, that $600 car payment isn't just about the car. It's about the kind of life you want to build and whether you're willing to make the hard, unsexy choices now that will pay off exponentially later. Your future self is watching the decisions you make today. And honestly, future you is really hoping you'll choose them over the car.